What's up, guys? Back with another game here. This one is called Stranded Alien Dawn. This is a colony survival simulation game set on an alien world. Basically, your escape pod from a ship, crash lands on this world, and you have to survive with starting out with four people. If you've ever played RimWorld or Going Medieval, basically the same thing. The best comparison I can make is this game is a 3D RimWorld. There are some differences, some pros, some cons. Either way, this is a great game, and I just kind of figured I'd hop on here and make a little video, show you guys kind of how I start my little colony. Not necessarily, that doesn't mean it's the right way, it's just what I enjoy doing. So let's get into it. We're just going to click on New Game. You're able to select different scenarios, so you can do crash landing, trading post and military outposts, which are objective. Um, you kind of try and complete a mission to complete those. And this one, I believe, you try to get off the planet. So this is default. We're just going to do crash landing. Same with region. We're going to do everything default for this video, but I'll run through these options. So you can start, random. You can start in a desert biome, Saltu biome, which is a tropical region covered with dense jungles, swamps, rivers, and beaches, or Sobrius, which is temperate mountains area with large meadows, which is default, which I'll be selecting. I'm not sure what the moons do. I'm just gonna go with, the default. Same with difficulty, seed, and game rules. Now, I mentioned RimWorld earlier, so if you have ever played that, you kind of know what you're getting into with this game. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in RimWorld you would only get to select three starting colonists, and this game you get four. And if you're interested in looking for the best, most efficient team, I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there, or um, something like that that can tell you. I just kind of go with the same people every time because I enjoy playing with them and they always work for me. Um, I am in no way saying that this is the most efficient team, but they do work for me. So I usually pick Carter. And going back to that RimWorld thing, not only do you want to pay attention to their stats, like Carter here, he doesn't excel at anything really, but he's willing to do everything and nothing's a zero, right? Hey, thumbs up to me. But what I really like about him is he's a fast learner. So he learns skills twice as fast. You want to pay attention to your traits here. There can be positive traits and there can be negative traits. So, for instance, you don't want someone that, let's see here, if we can find, a vegetarian refuses to eat meat, obviously. But if your starting location or your situation where meat is the only thing available at the time, it's going to be really tough to keep this gal happy. Anyways, so I usually go with Carter. He's an old guy, learns twice as fast. And then I usually grab Jack simply because his combat's very high. He has good physical, so he's good at hauling and delivering and doing physical labor type jobs. Um, Even though his farming is at a zero, it does not say that he won't do it. So he will do farming. He'll just be pretty slow at it. Crafting, he's interested. So if we were to make him our crafter, he will learn. He will level up in crafting quicker because he's interested. It's kind of like I think RimWorld maybe had stars or something that signified this interested mechanic. I can't remember. And then we usually go with Krista simply because her intellect, 7 intellect. Um, I really only have her. Oh, let's look at Jack's traits quick. So he's a combat instructor, occasionally improves the combat skill of others. Hey, that's pretty cool, right? Krista's traits, she's a genius. She's clumsy, but that's okay because she doesn't spend much time away from a research table, to be honest with you. So if she's a little clumsy, that's okay. And then I usually grab Emmeline, um, so she can be our cook, and she can kind of do a little of everything, right? Her construction's at 0, but that doesn't mean she won't do it. Carter, Emmeline, Jack, and Krista. Fair warning, this next scene, there's a scene where your escape pod is going down and crashing. It's fairly loud. I've tried everything to lower just, that sound, and I don't know, it doesn't work. So, fair warning. Here we are. We are crash landed on an alien planet. First thing I like to do is pause the game, take a look around. So really, we crash landed over here. And right away, you kind of want to stay close to your area as your pod drops some supplies. We got a laser pistol, some rations, and some scrap metal. It looks like. Usually, there's some bandages. Yep, we got some health supplies there too. Here's our people. Chris is already crying. So right out the gate, this does look like a decent spot to build, right? We got flat land, but big part of this game is living off the land, and I'm not seeing a bunch of stuff that's useful to us right here. Yeah, we have animals. Looks like we have this tall leafy plant is going to be like corn or grain or something, so that will be beneficial. Um, but if you go over here, right, we have these things which we can use if we were to kind of venture over here. We have some berries right here. We also have some silicone, some skin bark down there. I wish we would have landed over here, because otherwise my people are going to be running back and forth. But this will work. So first thing I'm going to do is I like to hit, well, I'll show you here. If you go to activities, hotkey 5, it'll bring up this menu here that as it stands, it's a check mark system, a yes or no. Do the task or don't do the task. But if you uncheck this, it'll give you a 1 through 5 numbering system, right? 1 through 5. 1 obviously being a priority. You want them doing that job first above anything else. So the first thing I do is all these skills that have blanks, just put a 3 in there. We didn't pick anyone that refuses to do anything, right? Maybe Krista here, but she's just our researcher. So we're going to toss 3s in all these. And actually what you can do to make it quicker is just do one of them, hit this copy button, and you can paste it all the way down, right? So now everyone's just on a level playing field. If we were to select numerous jobs right now, everyone's just gonna kind of do what they do. No priority over any jobs. But we want to get some information about this planet and these plants, which is the observe skill. And right away, we're going to put everyone to a 1 in observe. And I'm going to go around and I'm just going to click on some stuff and observe it. Because if you observe it, it tells you obviously more about them and uses and whatnot. So we'll observe these 2 animals to start. This plant here, which will, you observe it and it will allow us to plant that crop. And this one's going to kind of hurt, but we're going to send someone all the way up here to research these berries and these thingies, tube plant. That might take a little bit of time, but shouldn't be too bad. Here's cotton. We'll get some cotton. We'll observe that. And that should be it for right now. Silicone can wait. And let's get this going here. So now we want to kind of pick where we want to set up shop, right? Really anywhere here is going to work. So I think we'll build like looking this way, down this way is what I usually do. So if you go to your camp here, one of the first things you're going to want to do is put down a stockpile so you have a place to put all your stuff. So let's do that. Yeah, let's build like right here. I mean, this seems like an okay spot, right? So I usually like to start with maybe like a 8 or 10 stockpile. Okay. So now these people will, once I hit play, they will start observing everything I have queued, and they will also start hauling this stuff to our designated area simply because I don't have any other jobs queued, right? So that's good. So we'll hit spacebar and take a look around this UI while they're working. Oh yeah, other parts of your ship fall, which you can get supplies from. So he's going to observe the flightless bird. She's going to observe the bighorn animal, and they're calming each other down. I'll keep this in slow speed, and I'll go over some stuff here. Up here you have your season, your research level, temperature, year and day, and your your speed controls, so you can speed the game up. Here's kind of what we have to our name right now. We have 80 scrap metal, 60 cooked meals in form of rations, emergency rations. We have some meds, and we have one weapon. Which actually, now that I see that, I'm going to equip that weapon right now. We're gonna give it to Jack, just because he has our highest combat rating. So you can look through all their stuff here too. You can see what activity, if you click on the people, you can see what activity they're doing, what's queued, if you have set up a work area, health, their happiness, why they're happy, why they're not happy, what they're wearing, their skills here, kind of a bio about them, what their favorite stuff is, and then what they can eat and what they can and can't do in a sense. But before we forget, let's get Jack that pistol. We spawn with a laser pistol. And let's bump it up to 3. First couple minutes of this game. Get some of this. As you can see here, you have your stuff kind of pops up over here. So discovery, we observed the Olfin, basically just an animal to give me meat and leather. And then we're going to need to get some beds down too. I'm going to, usually I would observe these, they're just bushes, right? But I'm just going to chop them down for some sticks here. So we're going to need some sticks. We're going to go down to camp here, shelter, and we'll use some of our scrap metal right away just to build. I like to put 3 down right away, 3 shelters. If you hold shift, you can hold shift and click, and you can do multiple. And then we also want to do sleeping spots. R to rotate. And I like to put 4 sleeping spots, obviously. We have 4 people. The last thing I really like to get going quick is a research desk. Get that research going here. So we'll pause it. So now we actually have tasks for people to do. Now we want to start prioritizing who is going to do what. So if we hit 5, bring up our activities menu again, and let's say we want to find who our main construction person is going to be. If you go here and hover over construction, it'll say Carter is our highest. So he would be, he's our go-to. So we're going to put him at a 1. We'll leave everyone else at 3. They'll help when they're done observing. Another good skill to put people as a 1 right away for a while is what I have found is this deliver skill. Just so they'll pick all this stuff up and get it into storage, all this stuff. Once they start cutting it, they'll bring it to storage, just so it's not sitting around cluttering up the screen, right? All right, we did that, so we'll hit play again. And I'm also going to queue these trees up to get cut because we'll need some wood. Carter there's already building the stockpile. And then up here you have some additional options you can look at. You can see your orders, work areas, portraits, resource bar, stuff like that. And same with, and this is all your building stuff down here. This is where you're going to find all your structures and stuff like that. All right, going to town on our shelter here. And we don't have too much stuff going on yet, so we could actually, let's see, hit 5 again. Carter's already cutting stuff, but we could put someone as a cutter just to speed things up. It won't be Krista, she's going to be our researcher in a second. So Jack has good physical. We can put Jack. All right, we got some wood here. Could use, we don't have any more scrap metal to finish our shelter here, but I'm actually going to cancel this. And if we go back to camp and go to shelter, pretty soon, actually I think we have to collect some of this grass. If we cut this grass, we'll be able to make a stick shelter. Let's get our research going right away. I like to do weaponsmithing, lightning rod. I really like to get construction basics done, get it out of the way. I know it takes a day, but Krista is really, really fast at researching. So it's not terrible. So we'll throw that in there. We'll also do wooden modifications and then metal refinement. Boom, you can see all this stuff got researched over here, so we can click on it now and it'll give us more information about it. So now we have some stuff researched, we have our beds down, we have a research table going. Let's finish this. Let's get this shelter back up here, sticks, and cover her research table. Now we are going to need some food. We're doing okay, but I'm going to send someone to grab all these berries. We're not going to cut the berry bushes. We want them to replenish, so we're just going to harvest them. Someone will run over there. Jack and Emlyn are going to harvest as we don't have too many jobs lined up right now. Let's see, I think we'll get some food going fairly early, so this grain crop comes in handy. And we will, let's see, make a field here. We'll go like 8 by 8. Get some tutorials pop up. So what that tutorial was telling us, I mentioned earlier I was low on scrap metal. I need someone to start salvaging these wrecks here, and that will give us scrap metal, not only scrap metal, but it'll give us random supplies too. You might find gas, electronics, weapons, um, all of that, which we're going to start doing pretty quick here. We're going to get our fields down, and then we'll assign someone to the farming and to the scavenging. So we did our grain. I want to get some of these berries going. So we'll do another 8x8 there. And we'll also do these actually, we can't grow around here. So these tube plants, heptagonias, can only grow in rocky areas. So we could actually just keep harvesting this whole batch as we need it. All right, let's see who our farmer will be. So if we look at harvest and plant. So Emmeline's a 3, so it's probably gonna, we'll just do Emmeline. So we'll set her to 1 on harvest and 1 on plant as well. And we can get Krista doing our research. I forgot about that. Put her to a 1 on that. And now we have most of the stuff in our immediate area observed, so we're gonna lower these down. And we'll just keep Krista on research and observe now. So you can see the game looks pretty nice, right? Looks pretty nice, weather effects, all that stuff. We already are low on storage space, so all we need to do there is just add a couple more spots to the stockpile. She has researched lightning rods and weaponsmithing already. Emmeline is planting our grain. So next I like to, oops, actually we're gonna get a chopping block down. You know what, cancel that. If you look up here, we have 697 sticks from cutting down those bushes. Here's another thing we can observe, look at this. Some of this stuff is easy to miss. Another plant, I forget what it does, so we'll have to find out. Krista's going to observe it right now. Sleep time, so there's still a couple things for your base camp you want to get. You want to get a fire. Most likely you want to get a crafting table. And then I would say maybe one leisure activity just to keep them somewhat happy until you can get them their own lodging. So let's go ahead and see if we can build a fire here. We can do a scrap metal. Oh yeah, we need stone. Is there any rocks around here? Boom, boom, boom. Not in my immediate vicinity, but there are some right here. So we'll get a couple stones. And we're not in a huge hurry to do those. Our people can eat these berries raw, as well as these rations raw. And then we'll get someone on scavenging, which is going to be Jack. We'll put Jack on scavenging. He's got a good physical. Move him back to 3 on harvest. Not sure why I had him on harvest there. So that plant right there was smoke leaf. which I can use to smoke out of pipes for relaxation and leisure. So let's get Jack scavenging this. As you can see, he'll go over and start breaking that down. Let's get a crafting table, or a workbench, I should say. Put it right there, and we'll get... Pretty soon we'll craft a couple spears, because right now only one of our colonists has a weapon, kind of. So he has a laser pistol. I believe these guys can... They might either have some little knife or something. I'm not sure. Sometimes it looks like there's a knife icon in these early battles. So we got decent sticks, berries. We're getting some scrap metal now. And we have 40 stones, so we should be able to make a fire pit. We're going to put that kind of close to the storage and kind of close to our little work area. We'll put it right there. And there is kind of some downtime in this game, but that's what I like about these. You know, you're not, you have a lot going on eventually, but early game, you are kind of waiting for materials or projects to be done. And I'm playing on the fastest speed right now, so there is a little lull during the night. Another thing I'm going to show you guys too, if you really want to get into it, you can bring up the schedule button here. And if I'm going for a very long playthrough or, you know, or something like that, I will tweak this. I haven't for the sake of this video yet. But what I would usually do, you know, you can click these tabs up here. So let's go to relax. I want my people to relax at about noon, right? So they can take a little break, eat some lunch, sleep. Let's make sure they sleep. You want them to sleep, force them to sleep. And then anything, let them do an hour of whatever they want before bed. Something like that. You know, you could even do that or something. You know, but you can tweak with this. Set up their work schedules. The only thing I will say is always keep their traits in mind. There might be a trait on one of these people that they prefer to work at night, so have them sleep during the day. All right, so he scavenged some cloth and some scrap metal so far from our landing pod. Krista had a research insight, so she finished our construction basics. So that is awesome. We can start building a shelter already. Let's get these trees chopped down. And let's double this stockpile here. Let's put another line right in front of these. And now the main goal is to survive and fend off bugs and make our people happy, right? So let's get a decent amount of wood stockpiled here. Let's make a main building, which is going to double as a crafting area and living space until we can get further stuff set up. Cause for celebration. Basically, they're happy they made it, you know, this long on this alien world, and we're going to celebrate around the fire tonight. So now that we've finished our construction stuff, we can click on this housing tab and you can build stuff. however you want, or you can click on this room feature here, and it just gives you a basic room, which is what we're going to do. And we're going to make this to start, I don't know, let's make it like over here a little bit. Let's do like 7. Now we don't want to do 9, do we? No, we'll do 7 by 7 to start and see how that works. And then it'll give you an option to put a door on, which we obviously will. Right in the center, right there. So now our info panel over here is telling us there's an animal attack, 17 bugs coming. If you click on that, you can see where they're coming from. They're usually pretty slow. I'm not seeing them. So I think we have a little bit of time. Oh, here they are. They're pretty close actually. So I'm going to pause the game. It is unfortunate we haven't found or crafted any other weapons yet, but we should be okay. So if we select all our people here and hit draft, they're all drafted for battle. Let's see what happens. Hopefully our pistol guy will do some work. There we go. Let's see what happens when they melee. See, it does show them having a little knife. Are they attacking these birds? I mean, that's fine. That's a little distraction. And you want to always, so now it says we have 10 bugs left. Well, let's kill these bugs, right? Otherwise, it's just going to keep alerting us. Speed it up a little bit here. Maybe one more here. There. They're all gone. We're going to undraft our people. And now we are going to double click. That's right. If you double click something on the ground, it should highlight all the same ones around it, and we can butcher them. Carter got a little banged up, but he got treated. Krista reached healing 1. Jack has a risk of a meltdown. Found some more meds and some more scrap metal there. Research, get some more research queued up. So let's do tailoring, spaceship deconstruction, emergency rations, and let's do winemaking eventually. I don't have enough spots there. They're getting to work on our building here. So if you select this button, it'll show your ceilings. Wow, that looks bad, don't it? I shouldn't have, I don't know why I chose 7 by 7. Insufficient wood, so we gotta chop some more trees down. Double click those, cut them. Double click those, cut them. But it is coming together nicely. We're doing we have 1.2k food. I mean, just in fruits, right? And I don't think, yeah, these fruits have no negative for being if they eat them raw, which is why I like using them. Some of the plants and vegetables will have a negative penalty unless they're cooked, so keep that in mind. Which the campfire can do your early cooking recipes. Now that our people are collecting this raw bug meat, butchering those bugs that we killed, we want to click on them and go to the far right tab, the restrictions. We want to click on raw food and we want unselect meat. You don't want them eating that raw bug meat. And then we want to copy that restriction and paste it to everyone. Because people will eat that raw meat. You won't notice it at first. You'll be like, oh, they're fine. And then, a couple weeks into the game time, they'll start throwing up and being poisoned. So you want to avoid that, obviously. Getting some sleep here. And and if I were playing this very seriously, I'd be doing stuff a little bit differently, but for the sake of this video, I'm just kind of showing you how I set up a basic camp, right? So I probably would have everything that we have observed planted by now in a real playthrough. Um, but that takes time. That takes, manpower. So I'm kind of showing you how to get a little building set up, get some beds in there. Eventually, you want to have everyone either have their own bedroom, like at least a 4x4 bedroom, or what I've been doing lately, which I think looks really cool too, is giving everyone their own little cabin, little 4x4 cabin. Hopefully, we can finish this building up today. We got 2 people working on it. Emily's eating. Krista's going to eat. They're working on the roof a little bit. We got a door. I mean, you can even put a window if you want. Get 2 windows in there. Definitely unnecessary early game for, manpower and time, but. And then this game has little events. So this person is asking for help. Grayson Volk. So it's another person from our ship. More manpower is always good, but you just remember more manpower also means more food you need, um, more lodging, and they're going to use more supplies. But we're not going to turn this down. I mean, getting a person this early is awesome. So now we do have to get a bed down for this person quick. Otherwise, they're going to be not happy sleeping. Not happy sleeping outside. Understandable. So they're just crushing this house. Look at that. Almost done. We're going to move our beds inside. Actually, let's just leave those out there and let's just build our real beds in here. And then we'll delete those other beds. Because we're going to need... This game has a comfort system. Where if people are sleeping in comfy beds... they're going to have a much better night. And wake up much more happier and refreshed. So just for starters, let's just get them out of the elements. There we have building beds. We can tear these down. And I also like to assign beds. Carter, Emmeline, Jack, Krista, and then this last one will be Grayson. Just to keep things a little more structured. Some people like certain things more than other people, so you can just put it right in their cabin or their room. And if you have assigned beds, it just makes it a lot easier. So now Grayson is out here working at night. That means we should maybe look at his traits. Um, so he's an avid carpenter. Has 4-time work speed when crafting or construction stuff with wood. That's awesome. But he's slow. Okay, so let's make him our crafter. So if we go to activities, crafting, Grayson, put him at 1. Let's get him to make us a couple spears. At least 3 for now. All right, we got our beds made. We can delete this last one. We're also going to move this research desk inside and our crafting table inside. There's this cave dweller text popping up. That means they're working in the dark and or they're uncomfortable. So let's at least throw 1 torch in here. Give them a little light. Building looks all right so far. Now we'll start on some. So now we got our basic building down, which we can do a couple things with. We can have our people sleep in there. Protection from the weather, protection from animals. Um, they'll have better sleep bonuses, although they're not the best yet because they're obviously sleeping in a small room. They're going to have disturbed sleep and they might not wake up in the best mood. But that's okay. We got this started. So now let's get our furnaces going. A couple furnaces at least, maybe 2. I think we'll do 2. Let's get rid of this. Production, let's get 2 furnaces. How's our sticks? Once our sticks start getting low, we can either chop some more bushes or you can make a chopping block, and then assign someone to create sticks from these logs. But there you have it, guys. If this, game interests you, let me know in the comments. I'm having a great time with it. There is a DLC available for it, which I do not have yet. I haven't really looked into it either. But go to the Steam page, look at some of those screenshots that are up there, and you can do some pretty cool stuff in this game. Obviously, you get to concrete, metal, structures, fortifications, mechs, robots. It is definitely cool. So if you guys made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. And I'll be back with something else in a couple days or so. Thank you.